Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat. I'm a motivational keynote speaker. My topic when I speak is take the donut, another way to say carpe diem. It's time for another message from Melissa. And this month, something that I wanted to talk about is you never know who will say yes. So, a lot of times when we are thinking about sharing an idea with somebody or asking somebody for help. A lot of times when we've had something in our head and then we're thinking about bringing it to somebody else for the first time. A lot of times we think about the worst case scenario, that we think about the rejection. We think it's going to make it weird. We think all these things that prevent us from wanting to go out and have the conversation we want to have, from sharing the idea with somebody else, from potentially getting the help that we need. But here's the thing, you never know who's going to say yes. You never know who's going to be on board with the idea. You never know who's going to be flattered. You never know. Don't make that decision for somebody else. A lot of times we feel really good when we can support somebody, or we feel really connected to somebody because they share something that is exactly what we were feeling or thinking or wanting to do. Or maybe it reminds that other person of something they want to do. And now we can both go on our parallel journeys together. When you put the idea out there, you create all this potential for those things to happen. Yes, there's a possibility a person will say no or not get it. But there's so much possibility that people will say yes. And before you make the decision for them, why don't you just try? Last year, this really started to hit home for me because I was doing a lot more outreach to people about collaboration, about interviews. I was reaching people who I thought would say no or not respond to me at all. And they were consistently saying yes. And sometimes the bigger the reach, the quicker they said the yes. And it really amazed me. Couple that I want to point out here. First of all, as you may know, I've done a podcast about the show Halt and Catch Fire. It was initially meant to be a podcast where I just talked about the episodes of the show. But after I dropped the first episode, somebody reached out to me from the show and said, "Do you want to talk with cast or crew? We want to get any interviews." And I thought, well, that would be interesting. And so that person helped me line up a couple. But then I started to think, well, why don't I also try to do some outreach on my own? And I began reaching out to people, either to them directly or through their agents. And one of the people that I reached out to early, and I thought, no way is this going to happen, is the actress Annabeth Gish. Annabeth plays, on this show, she plays my favorite character in all of TV. What an impressive female, strong woman character. And I just did, and I also respect Annabeth Gish's body of work. She's done a lot of stuff that I've seen that I loved. And I reached out to her and I thought, there's no way this isn't happening, but at least I tried, right? And she reached back directly and said yes. And I just thought, wow, good thing I didn't assume she was going to say no. And not only did she say yes, and we did our interview, but months later, when I went to the ATX TV Festival to cover the show, because the ATX TV Festival in 2024 had a reunion panel for the show Halt and Catch Fire, and she was on it. So I went there to interview everybody else because I hadn't gotten the interviews yet with everybody else. And in the middle of one of my interviews with the creators of the show, Annabeth video bombed us, and she came in and she was like, "Oh my God, you're talking to Melissa. This is amazing." And I was like, "Oh my God." She not only did we have this interview, she remembers me, and she's advocating for me. And it was just this really unbelievable moment where I thought, well, good thing I did not assume she was going to say no and that I just went for it. Because the result of that was all positive, a great experience, even more respect for a person that I had respect for her work. And at this moment of connection twice that I just didn't believe possible. So And I'm here to tell you this was not the only situation where that happened with exactly this type of thing. I also, for my Take the Donut interviews, because every week I do Take the Donut interviews, I ask a variety of different types of people about what it's like to go after opportunity in life. And I reached out at the beginning of last year to a woman named America Lopez, who had just come off of the most recent season of Big Brother at that time. She also was a Brown University graduate like me, and I reached out to her and I thought there's absolutely no way this is going to be a yes. America is like, she was such a popular house guest. She had just gotten out of the house. I figured for sure her inbox is being flooded with messages. There's no chance of this, but what I reached out anyway. She said yes. We did the interview within like, I don't know, a week of when I reached out to her. And since that time, we've even like done further conversations. And I just, uh, it really, last year and this year have been a real lesson to me. And please don't assume what donuts somebody else does or does not want to take. Just put it out there and see what the result is. It's scary when you put all your eggs in one basket, but you never know. Right now, you're at a no. So let's see if you can turn it into a yes. So you never know what somebody might want to say yes to. And if this is something that you need to hear today, use this as your inspiration to send that message, put it out there, do the things, start the path. This is your sign. Go for it and see what happens. Take care, everybody.